1 series, the Endurance series, sorry, down for round 1 here at Albert Park, Australia. We'll be taking you around this track for 56 laps after the short qualifying session that goes for 18 minutes. So we'll sit with, I think there's a Aston Martin coming up of TMG Noah. He's already lost his front wing, so he might have already started his lap. So we'll jump on with El Tonki for a hot lap here at the Albert Park Street Circuit. Coming down in turn 1, you'll be braking about 75 metres out, about 5th or 4th gear through there, accelerating on the power nicely, open Endurace straight, down onto the run in turn 3. Very heavy right-hander here, braking about 100 metres out, just clipping the inside apex. Swapping the car back over the left-hand side. Now over to the right, turn 6. Can be a bit bumpy on the outside of the track there. This corner hasn't been opened in real life yet, or the game for that matter, so we're waiting for that to happen. We should be there next game. Now coming down in turns 9 and 10, braking as the wall ends on the left. Don't want to touch that curb on the inside too much, it can unsettle the car quite a bit. Now onto Lakeside Drive, just before the fast turns of turn 11 and 12. Flick it in on the turn 11 and again on turn 12. Missed the apex a little bit, that'll cost El Tonki a little bit of time. Coming down in sector 3 now, got a fastest lap from Combat Wombat. He does a 1:24.358, a little bit wide there from El Tonki. Coming down into penultimate corner, it's been a bit of a rough lap for him here. Outbrakes himself a little bit, flicking the car back over to the right for the final corner of his circuit. And that's a lap around at the Albert Park Street Circuit. So El Tonki puts himself into P2, currently 4/10 off Albano Josh, who's put himself up in the provisional pole, but we'd have eye contrast on a lap. He's coming down in sector 3 now, set of 48.2 coming through into sector 3. Into the second last corner, looks very fast now, uses all the track available to him. Penultimate corner, first gear for some more rotation. Might have got a little bit of wheel spin. We've got a retirement out of turn 2 already of Jamie JW. Scotty goes provisional P1, but Contrast bumps that off by 1.2 seconds with a 1 minute 20.3 in Aston Martin. So Contrast, I'm sure many of you already know him. He'll definitely be one to look out for, I think, in this race. So we'll have a look at some other drivers who might be setting some lap times. It looks like The Rock's on a lap. He's coming into turn 10 now on the Lakeside Drive in the Alpine car. Obviously the new Renault onboard camera here, clipping the inside apex, and again use it nicely. Gets a little bit of oversteer coming out of turn 11 there. Down into the final couple of corners, fast right hand corner, very difficult if you want to keep the car in 5th gear or 6th gear. They're not easy for the driver to make a choice. Using high gears here is The Rock to prevent wheel spin in the rear tyres. He comes up to the line 1 minute 20, so he's already a bit slower than Contrast, but he puts himself into P3, just a 10th behind Scotty there in P2. So not a bad provisional lap. You just want to get some bankers in right now, and then the track's going to ramp up quite a bit as the session progresses. So we'll see if we got anyone else on a lap. Looks like Plebs is on a lap in the Williams. He's coming down into the start of the second sector now. He's purple through sector 1. We'll jump on board here coming into turns 8 and 9, I think it is. Using the track nicely there. Oh, gets a little bit of wheel spin off the curb. One of the Mercedes gets out of his way, which is nice. On a Lakeside Drive, we'll stay on board for the fast left, right. Just clipping the first curb. Might be a little bit slower than you wanted through there. Had to drop another gear to help turn the car around the corner. Into sector 3 now. 3 more corners to go. We'll jump on board for this fast right-hander. Drops the car down 1 gear, doesn't use all of the track there available to him like Contrast did. We'll come up to the final corner now. Just using a bit of that exit curb, coming up to the line. He's already a bit slower than Contrast, so he'll put himself in a P4 with 121.9, so puts himself behind The Rock and just ahead of the G-Force Zach, who has done a 1 minute 22 flat. So we'll jump back down the order. There's a McLaren, it seems, around the back of the track. That could be... Oh, he's spun actually as we were trying to find him, Kavudi. So he's going to want to try and get himself out the middle of the track there before another car comes on. Looks like the next closest one's Plebs anyway. Let's come up to the next part of the track. Contrast teammate here, Team G Noah's on another lap. We did see him without a front wing going into Sector 3 at the start of the session. He's done, it says a purple Sector 1, I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Quickly jump on board here, see how he goes. Doesn't take that high curb, used it nicely. We saw Plebs get a little bit wheel spinny coming out of there just recently, so he's managed to get through there nicely. Back on board here again. Oh, he's lost it again. So as you saw there, like, thankfully ghosting enables the AlphaTauri to get through there, but he took that first he took the first part of turn 11 very nicely, but didn't just carry too much speed through and couldn't slow the car down for turn 12. So that's where yeah, it made him run wide, I guess. But we'll jump back on board with Club Clifford here as he now comes into the final stages of this circuit. I think he might be coming into the pits actually here. He is. I was going to say, it doesn't look like there's a lot of cars have just come out now for what looks to be their second run. Albino Josh just getting out the way of G-Force Zach, that might be, no, Plebs. So Plebs might be going on another lap here, or he's just rushing around to the pit lane. He's going very fast, so if he's trying to get around to the pit lane, he doesn't have a lot of battery left. I'd be surprised, he's on the mediums as well actually, that should be worth noting, so he's coming around the final couple of corners. We'll stay on board and see if he is going to finish this lap, or if he's going to jump in the pit lane. So Plebs on the mediums, a big talking point. He might be going for an ultimate strategy here, and he spins. He's out of the session actually. So that's definitely not what Plebs would be wanting heading into the race. Although it is a long race and he has time to make a lot of ground. Plebs into the fence at the last corner. You saw him just get a little bit too much wheel spin, and his car will move away soon. But we did see Contrast just begin a lap, so we're going to be right on board with Contrast. He's currently on provisional pole on the soft compounded tyres, coming out of turn 2, opens the DRS early, braking on the black box. He's just on the left hand side there, takes the inside curb nicely, gets it back around on the inside, doesn't touch the curb there, neither curb actually, and now into turn, oh, he's lost it a little bit. I'm surprised if he keeps going on with this lap, because it'd be difficult to better himself now, especially after a mistake. I think a 1 minute 20.3 is quite fast around here. I haven't done too many laps myself, so I'm not sure what banking times will be good or not, but a 1 minute 20.3 seems pretty fast. After that mistake, he's 4.5 tenths off his time, so we're going to jump back with Scotty, who's 4.5 tenths up on his time actually. So he goes through 10, 11, 12, he's purple through sector 2, so maybe he did his lap in a slower tyre, or at least made quite a big mistake. So in the AlphaTauri here, you see Scotty coming around the final 3 corners, keeps it in 6th gear, unlike a lot of the drivers we've seen drop it to 5th gear, right on the edge of the track, doesn't quite touch the grass though, keeps momentum up nice as we get a little onboard shot here, opens DRS, used about half this battery on his lap. Where's he going to go? 1 minute 20.553, so he's about just under 2 tenths off Contrast there in provisional pole. We got the Rock also coming around the final penultimate corner now. He reduces wheel spin, moving up the gears quite quickly, short shifting. Oh, nearly lost it like we saw Plebs there. Coming up to the line, what's the Rock? He doesn't improve. Oh, he does, sorry, to a 1 minute 21.1. I don't think the Alpine behind him. Oh, he's just starting a lap, sorry, G-Force Zach. So we'll see, we'll right on board with G-Force Zach on this lap actually for a little bit. See how he goes. One of the coming across from Xbox onto PlayStation to race against these guys. We'll see how competitive he actually is. He does have Plebs and Eye Contrast to deal with, although Plebs is actually out of the session. I forgot. So G-Force Zach, his Sector 1 split, it was 4.5 tenths up at the moment, so at the moment he's sitting around a 1 minute 21.6. Definitely got a lot of time for him to improve on in his lap at the moment. We'll see the Sector 2 split come up very shortly. It's now 5.5 tenths up. Takes fast chicane quite nicely. Maybe left a little bit on the table, just wants a better banker. Lap in with a 1 minute 22 flat. We've got a Mercedes who's spun at the fast chicane as well. Into the penultimate corner now comes Zach. Gets the car back around to the right. Don't think he got the run onto the straight as he would have liked there. He looks like he's shortened his apex a little bit, but he moves up to P3 with a 21.1. So 6 tenths off his next competitor, Scotty, who seems to be putting up the only real challenge for Contrast at the moment, as Contrast is on an outlap. So we'll make sure to stay looking at this lap, but there's a Mercedes, I think, on the lap. That's Chronic Saint. As Kavudi just jumped up to P3 there in a 20.8, so that's a very nice lap from the McLaren driver. Late stages of this session now to put himself into the 1 minute 20s, which could be a top 5 starting time. Again, we'll jump back down the order. As next going in, we'll find a driver to ride on board with. We've got Combat Wombat who's just started his lap now. Heading in turn 3. Now into turn 4. He's got a car in front of him. He's moved out the way nicely. We're actually into the little car park section of the stadium. Down in turn 7. Running what looks to be an Australian helmet there. If you jump on board, you can't quite see it. Again now into turns 9, turns 10. Now on Lakeside Drive. He's invalidated his lap actually, so we'll jump on board with Contrast, who we did say was starting off earlier. He's just off on his time by 0.006 of a second, so scraping his time here. Let's see if he can improve at all. He's already got a very nice banker there to deal with. Again, using all the track, pretty much going about as fast as he can around there. That looked very smooth from Contrast. Again, now into the final 3 corners of the circuit, drops it in 5th gear. Keeps the momentum up a lot nicer than some of the other drivers we've seen at the moment this session. And I think that shows why he's in the 1 minute 20s compared to some of the drivers in the 1 minute 21s. As he comes up to the line now, he does improve by just over a tenth of a second to a 1 minute 20.272. So Contrast setting a really good time there. In the late stages of the session. I'm not sure if he'll get around for another lap. We do have yellows in Sector 3 which need to go away if I get the chance to see how much longer we have left in the session, but we'll stick with Oz Formula now. He's got a nice bit of piece of track on his outlap. Actually I think he might be going in pits as well, I'm not sure. I have no idea what Oswald is doing there. He hasn't got the run on the straight he wants, so he might be paused, but we'll move back to someone else. It looks like TMG Noah's on another lap. We've seen it looks like he has quite a bit of pace here, but he can't get the chicane right, so we're going to jump back on board for the chicane here on Aston Martin. See if he can just get the lap in. He's spun it 2 times around here. It's very fast with his first apex again, but he gets around the second one nicely, so we're going to sit on board coming into Sector 3 now. Oh well, the middle of Sector 3 I should say. Keeps it in 6th gear, doesn't quite use the outside apex all that much. Drops it down to 2nd, gets the car over to the left so that you get a good run out of the final corner. Uses a lot of that outside apex, might have lost a bit of time, but he looks to be in the 1 minute 20s with 1 minute 20.742, so TMG Noah, the other Aston Martin, puts himself I guess in a provisional podium position during qualifying, so I don't think he'll get around for another run. Contrast has made his way back to the pits in time, so he will or should get out for another run. It says I have 53 seconds left in my session, or 50 seconds left. So he'll have to get out quickly. I don't think he can actually make it around, so he might be done for his session. Combat Wombat about to come through the chicane. He just moves out the way. There is a car behind him. That must be the Rock. So the Rock's rushing around to start his lap, I think. He hasn't quite started yet. G4 Zach has started his final run of the session. He's way off his invalidator, his lap there. As we saw in the fast right hand, a lot of understeer mid-corner. And unfortunately, understeer's off the track. So he'll be starting P5 at best with a 1 minute 21.160. Rock's about to start his lap. That Wombat's off the track. The other Haas of Club Clifford has just started his lap, and a few others behind him. So we're right on board here. Oh, we're not on board, we'll just follow the Rock F1. Currently in P6 in the Alpine, so the Alpine 5 and 6 at the moment. Not a bad qualifying session for them. We'll see if they can improve in the dire stages of the session, well, especially the Rock. Zach's already out, we know that, we saw him invalidate. So as the Rock comes through the end of Sector 1, he's just off his time at the moment, about 0.02 of a second slower than what his previous time was. We're going to quickly go and check some other drivers. I think, who was it? Club Clifford is currently on a lap. I can't go across him now anyway. He's invalidated, that's why we can't see him. Alright, so our last driver is the Rock F1. Everyone else is in their set positions, and the Rock cuts the track through the fast chicane. So his qualifying session is done. So I think that will be the final grid slots for the 56 lap race ahead of us. So a long race, obviously, for any driver to sort themselves out. We'll have a look at the tyres. We'll get the tyres up now. So we got Contrast starting on pole with a 1 minute 20.272. We got Scotty just behind him by about, what's that, about 2.5 tenths on a 1 minute 20.553, and in P3 is the other Aston Martin of Team G, Noah, with 1 minute 20.742, all on soft compound of tyre. So that should be everyone. We've still got Oz Formula going on. I think he might be paused, hence the reason, or I've de-synced with him, hence the reason that we can't really see what's happening. Just going to check one thing, sorry, just quickly. Alright, so just waiting for the session to end now. I'm not sure what the deal with Oz Formula is here at the moment. It should end in 50 seconds regardless of what is happening. So I'll take a quick break until the standings come up, and then I'll run you through grid order, although you can already see it there. I'll just wait until it comes up at the end of the session. Alright, so session still hasn't actually ended for some reason. Hopefully the lobby isn't glitched or anything, fingers crossed here, because we don't really want to waste too much more time before the race begins. I'll quickly check up on what the situation is. So I'm not sure what's wrong with Oz Formula's car at the moment. Oh, as Zach's left the session, so it might be a new lobby start, I think, in that case. It will be. So, got a little bit of a brief intermission here, I guess, for the drivers between their qualifying and race. It's very good for all the runners on the soft compounded tyres, as they'll now be starting a fresh set of softs, especially in the top 10 rather than an old worn set of softs. In the new lobby, the rules are the driver will have to start on the compound they qualified on, so everyone inside the top 10 has to start on the softs besides plebs, obviously, on the mediums there. And then everyone outside the top 10 can pick whatever tyre they choose to. They don't have any restriction on what tyre they want. So unfortunately 3 drivers down there not setting a time. So not giving themselves the best opportunity to, I guess, set a lap. So wait for our invite to come in and then we'll join the new session. Just mean a little bit, remember, we'll exit out. Sorry about this break, I guess you could call it. Yeah, just waiting for him, but there we go. Hopefully this joins sooner rather than later. So, it says joining session, which isn't great. We're going to quickly try and do it the other way. I know it's opened if it's friends only, so maybe I can find it that way. Nothing there. Wait try this other invite now. Hopefully it lets us load in, otherwise I might have to set up a new stream. Right, I might try restart the stream while I work this issue out. It's currently not working, so I will have a new stream set up very shortly. I'll give it maybe a little bit longer. Right, I'm gonna make a new stream, so please join that one instead. Sorry about this issue.